Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be talking about some of my favorite albums of 2023. Music is an important part of my life, and hearing an artist's full-length project is always great to take in all of the work that they put in. So today I'm going to tell you what some of my favorites were from the year. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Before we get to the juicy stuff, I want to mention some of the albums I love but did not make my list, unfortunately. My honorable mentions are Fourth Wall by Rule, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse soundtrack, Unreal Earth by Hozier, Guts by Olivia Rodrigo, This Is Why by Paramore, Jaguar by Victoria Monet, and Barbie the Album. Starting things off is a re-release of a pop classic and one of my favorite albums ever, 1989 by Taylor Swift. I think that this is such a fun album that addresses the media's obsession with her dating life, bad blood with an ex-friend, and rushing into a relationship that is exhilarating but with a roller coaster of emotions, and watching it all fall apart. I love that she adds these vault tracks into her re-releases to elevate the album even more. This is a great album filled with lots of good songs, and my favorite is Out of the Woods, but Now That We Don't Talk and Is It Over Now were some standouts from her new vault tracks. Endless Summer Vacation by Miley Cyrus came out in the beginning of the year, and it was great. I feel like with this album, Miley gave us insight into her relationship with her ex-husband, and this is really just a breakup album. She has really grown into her voice, and I feel like she sings about these topics and addresses them in a way on this album that just feels very adult and mature. The album is very pop heavy, but also seems like Miley hasn't forgotten about her country and rock roots. Flowers is my favorite song on this album, but after the digital release, she released Used to Be Young, which I have found an appreciation for, and it is also a very heartbreaking and vulnerable song. Troye Sivan dropped the short but sweet Something to Give Each Other, and honestly, it made my year better. As I've watched Troy grow as an artist, I feel like he's become more confident in his music making abilities and how he expresses himself, and you can definitely notice that growth when looking at all his albums and how this one differs from those. This album lets us take a look into his life, and I felt like each song was telling a different story. The album feels like a mixture of experiences from partying to one night flings to being angry at someone and learning to love yourself. The album has a mixture of club bangers and some chill kickback songs, but every song feels like they fit perfectly. Rush and Got Me Started have a special place in my heart, and I just love those songs, but What's the Time Where You Are lately has been stuck on repeat. Lou is an artist that I just discovered this year, and I saw someone talking about how good her album I Came Home Late was, and so I listened to it and I was like, wow, how have I never heard of her? And this person that said this was correct. Her voice is just so smooth, and the album just really gives off these good R&B vibes, but she mixed other genres with it as well. I sat down and listened to all the songs on this album when I found out about it, and I felt like there truly were no skips, and closing the album with the title track was just chef's kiss. The album is full of great songs, but Range 95 and Caught Me Running just stood out to me. I know Renee Rapp from The Sex Lives of College Girls, and I love her in that show, and I knew that she started off at Broadway, and I knew that she could sing, but after hearing Snow Angel, I realized that that girl can sing. She has some great storytelling on this album, and some of the songs are super catchy and fun, talking about relationships and friendships ending, but some are also super vulnerable, and you feel like you're hearing something sad that your friend is telling you. I'm glad I got to see and hear more of her songwriting skills and how she takes these big emotional moments and she may tell it in a way that may not seem serious or a way that will make you want to lay down and stare at the ceiling, but whichever way she tells it, you will still feel emotionally connected to them. My favorite song off of this album is The Wedding Song. I could play it over and over again, and it's just a good example of a song that you think will be a happy song, but you listen to the lyrics and you realize the song is about a relationship that ended before she can show them this amazing song. Last, but certainly not least, is not a full-length album, but the EP Tori by Tori Kelly. This album has this sound that is heavily influenced by the early 2000s R&B, and she even got Timbaland on the opening song, which is like peak Y2K. I feel like most of the songs are her just singing about love and being happy, but one or two songs she sings about an ex. I think Tori has one of the best voices of this generation, and she showcases her range on this EP. My favorite song off of this EP is Missing You. When I listen to an album, I always hope for the best, especially if the lead single is good, and these are some of the albums that just stood out for me. I love listening to a full body of work and seeing what some of the themes of the album are and what the artist brings that might draw me in. And if they're an artist that has multiple projects under their belt, I want to see how this one will differ from what they've done in the past. There are just so many cool projects, and I can't wait to see what's in store for 2024. As always, I would love to hear what some of your favorite albums are down below in the comments. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.